Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on WKYC. Thanks for spending 30 minutes with us. I'm Jay Crawford. Over the next half hour, we're going to debate a lot of things Cleveland Browns related. Among them, a writer we all know and respect gave his thoughts yesterday on whether or not he believes Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski will be back for the 2026 season. We'll chew on that coming up. Bull.
I'm Adam the Bull. There's been a lot of crazy things when it comes to Shedeur Sanders conversation. The latest, should he get as much of a runway as the first overall pick in the draft? We'll get to that in a little bit. G.
Hey, listen, I'm G. Bush, leader of the Kool-Aid Mafia, and we got to talk about this Tennessee Titans defense. Yeah, I know. They're not that good. But they got a couple guys in the middle that can make life a little bit miserable for Shedeur Sanders. We'll talk about the Tennessee Titans and how they block those guys up. Jason?
The Titans and the Browns. You really want to watch this? This might be a boxcast game, so if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. We got pre-written headlines. We're going to tell you what happens before it happens so you can save your Sunday to go shovel snow or hang Christmas decorations, what else you want to do. Mikey.
Yeah, part of the reason no one wants to watch it is the over-under for this game is just 33.5. That is one of the lowest over-unders in the NFL in the last decade. And after seeing all your predictions, I don't think any of us are taking the over. So we'll dive in and chew on that in a little bit. But, Jay, let's start with the battle of the rookie quarterbacks here, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Should the Browns give as much leeway to Shedeur as the Titans are giving Cam Ward? I know it sounds crazy, a first overall pick versus a fifth-round pick, but there are a lot of fans saying Shedeur deserves the same amount of time.
It sounds crazy because it is crazy. The answer to that is no, of course not. Not all quarterbacks are handled equally. When you draft a guy number one, you're telling him with that pick, you are the person that we are giving the keys to our franchise to. We believe that wherever we go for the next 10 years, you're going to take us. When you draft a quarterback fifth, in the fifth round, and he's the second quarterback you took in that draft, what you're saying is your mild insurance policy, you may get 4 games, you may get 2 years, we don't know. Go surprise us. So no, he doesn't deserve a full 17-game slate to prove what he can do. That's just the way it is in the NFL. Dylan Gabriel was the third-round draft pick. He didn't get it.
You can take the car out on Thursday night, and if you don't wreck it, maybe we'll give it to you again next week.
You're week to week. You're week to week. But when you're the overall number one, and we know that because we've had some of those.
You can run into the guardrail, and we'll face it and give it right
You get
back.
a lot of leeway. You can come back and I got a DUI. Well, get out there. We need you driving next week.
We know the answer to this question because we know the question wouldn't be asked if it was any other player besides Shedeur Sanders.
That's fair. Yeah.
Drafted in the same
Should
position.
Dylan Gabriel get the same runway?
Nobody's going to say
Yeah.
yes.
Cam Ward has.
And he's a third-round pick.
And he's picked
So
higher.
they thought highly.
And I would again say no.
Yes,
of course not.
Course.
Right, yeah.
Of
The
course.
guy was the first overall pick. Of course he's going to get a longer runway. And by the way, these days, even first-round picks don't get that long a runway if they don't show you something quick. By next year, if Cam Ward doesn't show significant improvement, they're going to be thinking about a quarterback again.
Hey, listen, man. Zach Jackson just said it. Look, he was on the show, on the YouTube show, and he asked the question. He says, listen, if Mendoza is that guy and they like him so much and there's a new regime in there, could you see them be like, hey, let me draft Mendoza because we got the number one pick and Cam Ward is out? I've seen this happen a couple of times. We've seen it happen with the Cardinals. They had Josh Rosen, and then they were like, ooh, that didn't look so good. Let's get Kyler Murray. Now, is it likely? No. But in terms of the answer in this question, is he going to get the same amount of runway? No. If Cam Ward stopped playing today, his runway is already longer than Shedeur Sanders. There's only 4 more games in the season. If you're the number one pick, of course you're going to have an opportunity to get a longer runway than where you are, and he's the second quarterback taken in the draft. So you guarantee what you put on the board. Like, it's a big week for Shedeur Sanders. It's a big time. He got to show up, step up his game this week, and he has to play four more weeks to prove that he has what it takes for them to take another look at him. So that's what the game is. It's about what you do in the football field, not guaranteed runways.
Yeah, I said on Monday that I want to see the Browns allow him to start playing quarterback, and this is a good game for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to take some of the seatbelts off, put the guardrails down, and let him play quarterback. Yes, it's going to be cold, so what? It's Cleveland. You're going to be the quarterback in Cleveland. You're going to have to deal with the cold. I don't think the weather is going to be a huge issue. It doesn't sound like it was maybe last week.
Not
with
wind and
some of the
snow,
winds.
just cold.
Yeah, so deal with it. If you're going to be the quarterback here, at least until 2029 or 2030, whenever this beautiful palace goes up, you're going to be playing in the cold.
And he has to let
Now's
it fly.
the time.
Hey, listen, I know we talked about it with him getting on the same page with your receivers. Hey, look, bro, sometimes you ain't going to have that. You ain't got a whole season. You got 4 more games. Y'all might want to get to that now.
Figure it out.
Figure it out today.
And to your point about ultimately it is what you do on the field. Look, if Cam Ward finishes the year and they're the worst team in the NFL and he doesn't show any growth from week 1 to week 17, then he's used up some of his runway too, to Bull's point.
Absolutely,
And the other thing is, how much runway did Brock Purdy have when he came in as Mr. Irrelevant? He didn't have runway. He didn't have a plane. He didn't have anything. And then he was given the opportunity. And to your point, what do you do with that opportunity?
That's it.
He can seize this moment.
Yeah.
Runway or no, it doesn't matter. If you go out there and you put a good product on the field and you show progression week to week and there's promise for you, you build your own runway as you go.
Obviously, Brock Purdy had way better talent around him.
Much better talent.
But if he had stunk, they would have found somebody else.
On to the next.
Yep.
They wouldn't have given him that long if he was bad.
Absolutely. All right, next up, the over-under. I don't know if you looked at this. It's as low as it's been for an NFL game in 10 years. 33.5. You're dealing with a couple of inept offenses, but still, this guy's is, if the game is 17-16, it actually goes under, which blows my mind to think about. In
these
today's
teams
NFL.
I don't think are averaging. What are they averaging
They're not.
between them? 30 points?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
Vegas is an average
32
game.
is the average combined between the Browns are about 16.5, the Titans about 15.
So it's
And
the
that's what
lower-
they do. That's how they set these numbers. But so I ask you guys, is it fair that it's that low?
Oh, yeah.
And are they underselling what Shedeur Sanders can do against a bad Titans defense?
Well,
I don't know that we know what he can do.
Well, we're going to see today. This is the game. I don't know. You better circle the date. Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders got a bit of a relationship. They go back and forth with each other. Now, you playing each other head to head. This is the game you got to have circled and ready to go because, look, this is a winnable football game. The Titans are going to have to play against your defense, who is still playing a very good brand of football.
Yeah.
And Myles Garrett is trying to look to get the sack record. So you're going to have motivated people. I think the Browns will give them the ball inside their own 20 a lot of times. And I believe that they'll punch it in. I think this goes over. I think the Browns actually win this game moving away.
To me, the only way it goes over is if there's a lot of turnovers. The Titans will not have a long drive to score. That's not happening in this game.
I don't see that either.
And the Browns, I'll give them a chance to have a long drive, but not a lot,
27 points I got.
One thing we got to acknowledge, Mike, put that first graphic up, please, again, where it said the top 5 lowest over-unders for the last
coming.
The Browns are on there twice, and now this will be the 3rd time. So 3, including this game, 3 of the last 6 lowest over-unders involve the Browns.
Yeah, I may have said it's the lowest in 10 years. It's the lowest this year.
Right.
It's amongst the lowest
Right.
over the last 10 years, which really, guys, it does boggle the mind of the fact that you bring up that Cleveland is in 3 of those.
3 of the 6.
And
We're talking
what's
about
more incredible, Jay?
incredible incompetence.
What's more incredible, Steve, you pull that graphic back up. Of these 5 games, by the way, the Browns 33.5. It is the 6th, so obviously it's tied with the next. 4 of those 5 games, the under hit. Only one of those 5 actually hit the over, including the Jets Patriots game with 28.5 last year. 20 total points, 17-3 win.
If you think about it, Cleveland is the perfect storm for the under. They've got a great defense and an offense that can't find its way out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
Throw in the cold weather.
Yeah, both of those were cold weather that the Browns. That was the Christmas
The New
Eve
Orleans game was brutal.
Right,
It was
yeah.
0.
Yeah.
That
And the
was
Titans'
coldest
offense
game I've
is
ever
even
been
worse
to.
than the Browns. Plus, as you say, they're playing against a great defense.
Yeah, so it'll be
And
interesting
the
to see.
strength of the Titans' defense, which we're going to get to in a minute, is the only sort of strength of the Browns is their running game,
Well,
and they're stout up front.
It's a great transition because the Browns have a great running back.
Yeah.
That even though his yards per carry is below where we'd like it to be, you do think if you're going to move the ball consistently for the Browns, it's going to be with Judkins. But that's the strength of Tennessee's defense. Their defensive tackles, that duo is a pretty good duo. And defensively, they're ranked somewhere around 24th to 26th, depending on what you look at, pass defense, rush defense, total defense. Is this the biggest area of concern for you guys on Sunday? Is that duo in the middle for Tennessee clogging up our run game?
Yeah. I think because when you look at it, Wyatt Teller's not going to be playing in this game. Jack Conklin is not going to be a guy that's going to be playing in this football. I don't think Jack Conklin's playing, is he?
No. I think they're both out.
They're both out. And the Browns running game went to what when those two guys were not in the football game. We'll see what Tevin Jenkins brings. So this is going to be a game where I don't think you're going to just be able to lean on the run game. And it points to what Jason is saying. Now you're going to have to be varied in what your attack is. And I know it's cold outside, but it is what it is. It's Cleveland, Ohio. It gets cold. That's what it is. So now you got to have a varied attack. I want to see more options. I want to see more layers and levels to your offensive game instead of just being, hey, let's run it on first and second down and figure it out. You're not going to be able to do that because you're not going to have the advantage, in my opinion, up front. It's one of the advantages, Bull, that I do think the Titans have over the Cleveland Browns is the guys in the interior.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like every other team that has played the Browns this year, no matter who the quarterback's been, your number one priority is to try to stop Judkins because you know he's really good, and the passing game has been, no matter who the quarterback's been, including Flacco, has been a non-factor for the most part this season. So, I think if you're Tennessee, you're like, okay, we got the guys up front to be able to, not allow Judkins to have a monster game. The Titans actually rank better defensively against the pass than the run. My guess is, I haven't really paid close attention to the Titans, but so many teams have had such a big lead on the Titans that teams are probably just not throwing the ball that much against them in the second half, right?
That is correct.
So I'm guessing their pass defense is worse than their run. Now, I'm sure their run defense isn't that good, but their pass defense is probably worse. So, yeah, I mean, Shedeur's going to have some opportunities. It's not like Titans got great corners or anything or a great pass. Who's their leading sack guy? Do you know, Mike?
4 or 5 sacks. I think I looked this week.
Yeah, it's Simmons.
Right. But so he's got 4 or 5?
So if your defensive tackle is your leading sack guy, unless his name is Aaron Donald, he should have, even with the banged up offensive line, he couldn't have an opportunity to throw, you'd think, without a ton of pressure. And
Simmons is 6, so he's having a very productive.
Which is really good for
right? He's their leader.
He leads.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
great
an all-pro
for a tackle.
caliber player. Yeah.
Now, I think you said in the regular show today, the YouTube show, that the Browns gave Shedeur Sanders the most time to throw last week of all teams.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. I'd like to see more production out of the quarterback. I'd like to see him looking through his reads and finding more receivers that are open downfield instead of the quick dump-offs because he has so much time. But I feel if the Browns can give him time, and I think even with some backup linemen in there, I think they can. I don't see a world. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Where the Browns lose on Sunday.
Oh, boy, guaranteed.
It's only a 4-point spread. It's not like it's 10.
But I think this one's stealing. I really do. And I think G.
They better win this game.
We'll have our picks later in pre-written headlines.
Come on, man.
We're taking a break. When we come back, Albert Breer knows a thing or two about the NFL. He is weighing in on his thoughts as to whether or not these two gentlemen will be back for the 2026 season. We'll share them with you and debate what he is saying when the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show comes right back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Mike, a pretty respected writer, weighing in on what he thinks is going to happen to Browns brass in the offseason.
Yeah, Albert Breer was on 92.3 The Fan yesterday. He had this to say, and then I think we have to react to it. We're going to spend more time in this B block than we usually spend on a B block. But this was what Albert Breer had to say in relationship to Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. Breer said, quote, "To me, the reason it won't happen, it being them getting fired, is because it took nearly a decade for Jimmy Haslam and his family to find the right structure and mix of people to run their football operation. The combination of Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry delivered playoff bursts in year 1 and year 4, and the bumps since can be connected back to the organizational decision to trade for Deshaun Watson. As such, one bad year needs to be considered with context. All right, I'll give you a verdict. Stefanski and Berry get another year and a chance to build off a really good 2025 draft class with 2 first-round picks to work with in April and a big quarterback question to answer." That was Albert Breer
By the way, Mike, I know you said it was on the Fan, but I'd be annoyed if somebody didn't mention the name of the show. So it's the afternoon drive with Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wilson that Albert's on.
I actually did not know what show it was on. So
okay.
I'm glad you.
I'm just assuming because Albert used to be on with Dustin and I in the afternoons, and I know he's been on with them, so I'm assuming he's still doing afternoons.
Yes.
I didn't hear it, but I text Nick and Jonathan to bust their chops during their show all the time. And guys,
I'm sure they love that, by the way.
all the time. In the middle of the show, I'm like, stop saying that. What the hell's wrong with you? No. But I give him compliments too. But anyway, I don't know why Albert said just one bad year, because it's been 2 bad years, not 1, 2 bad years in a row. However, listen, Albert's pretty plugged in. Maybe he's right. I don't know. But I don't know it sounded to me like it's more reading the tea leaves than he has information. Is that how it sounds to you?
Yeah, and it goes back to what we talked about in the YouTube show, why I said why the rest of the league views this as why Kevin will get another job so quickly. And people, I hear it all the time. Stop blaming Deshaun for everything that's gone wrong with the franchise. I'm like, guys, if you get drunk and burn down your own house and a year later you're still homeless and living in a hotel, you're still blaming on the fact that you got drunk and burned down the house. That's why.
Yes.
So a year later, the reason they're in this mess is because they missed badly. They missed on the draft picks that they weren't able to use. They missed on the cap that has cost them. They destroyed the offensive side of the ball with that one move. And it takes multiple years to recover from that. Now, again, I haven't fought anyone all year long that says you want to fire Kevin. It hasn't been good enough the last 2 years. 6 wins is not enough. If you want to fire him, go right ahead. I am not going to argue with you. I haven't argued all year. I'm just giving you the other side as to why people around the league and why Jimmy himself may say we have to continue down this path, because that one move wrecked everything we could do on the offensive side of the ball.
This would have been easier to agree with if Kevin Stefanski wasn't the architect of his own offense. Sometimes you're the head coach and you got an offensive coordinator, you got a defensive coordinator. And when you're a head coach and you have 2 bad years back to back and you hand over play calling 2 years in a row, that denotes that there were some issues with what was going on the offensive side of the football. Kevin Stefanski has been the leader of the offense. He's been the architect of the offense. And when the offense does not work and the quarterback position is not working, you're going to get a lot of darts for that. Now, look, may he get another job with someone else? Sure. May he, next year be a coordinator or somehow find another role somewhere else around the league? I don't doubt that. But I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion that Kevin Stefanski is going to be back because of some of the things that he's had happen with Deshaun Watson. To be honest, he's been in a mix with a lot of people. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, the Joe Flaccos of the world. So, yes, is it all his fault? No. But I can't give you a pass, and I don't think a lot of people give him a pass because he's been part of it in the decision-making process from the get-go.
He has. He didn't have a big enough shovel to get out of the hole that Jimmy or whomever dug when they said, let's go get Deshaun Watson. Jimmy has come out this year and said, that's on me. That's we have to own that. We made a mistake. To me, again, reading tea leaves and not hearing this from anybody, but also I trust Albert. Albert's good with the Browns. Sure. He does get information. And if you could put his statement up again, I found one thing very curious. I think what he was trying to do maybe was kind of hedge his bet a little bit. And I don't know how this conversation unfolded. It almost seems to me like they started the question with, give us an answer here. Right. And about halfway through it, he says, all right, I'll give you a verdict.
Yep.
So he hems and haws for the first 2/3 of it. And he makes some very good points as he's doing that. Then he cuts to the chase and says Stefanski and Barry get another year and a chance to build off a really good 2025 draft class. I'm not saying they're going to be back. I'm not saying they're going to be fired. If I had to bet the house, I would try everything I could to get out of doing that because I don't feel strongly one way or the other. Nothing's going to surprise me. But if I had to put my flag in one camp, I think both are back for 2026.
Here's the last thing I would say on it, and I've mentioned this before on the show. It's not good enough to me to commit to 1 year with these guys. If you're going to take a quarterback at the top of this draft, the quickest way to wreck a quarterback in a franchise is to bring coaches back who you're not sure of, draft a quarterback, and then halfway through the year fire the coach. And now you've got
Tennessee.
another coach.
Tennessee.
Now you got another coach who may or may not like that quarterback. If you're going to stick with these guys, you got to stick with these guys for 3 more years.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just clean them out now.
And Cleveland has made that mistake with Baker.
Absolutely.
So they know what that runway. It gets very bumpy when you do that.
To me, if Jimmy Haslam is not sure if Stefanski should keep his job, he has to fire him.
I would add one thing to that. Who are you going to bring in?
Yeah, well.
Because
I don't know.
I think this question needs to be asked whenever you're going to make a change.
For sure.
I'm going to get rid of somebody. You don't just get rid of somebody to make a change.
Ask Penn State what happens.
Exactly. Penn State fired their coach in the middle of the season. Why? So they get a jump on hiring their successor. Where are they today? They're calling G. Bush tomorrow night to see if G. Bush wants to come coach.
That's not an apples to apples comparison.
No, but it is.
Listen, it
How
is.
is it?
I'll tell you, because
It's college.
They didn't know. They said, you know what? To use our phrase,
fired
Jason
him
and I have
without a
used this,
plan.
we're going to build the plane as we're in the air. That's not a plan. And the Browns have tried to do that. And I do think, okay, if they get to the point where they're not sure they should fire him, fine. But you better have a better replacement lined up, ready to go.
This is not an attractive job.
Who's going to take it?
I'm sorry if that offends Browns fans. With the situation with the cap sheet, with the situation with the offense,
You're gonna go through 3 years of hell.
The noise of Shedeur right now.
Yep.
This is not an attractive job. You are not going to get your first choice.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Mike, you gave me a time cue there. Was it less than a minute? 1 minute. I have a quick time for a last point, and I ask you guys to weigh in on it. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, Bull, like if you're on the fence. This isn't a contract year, though. Like if they were at the end of his contract, and you either had to decide, well, we're gonna extend them, or we're not. We're gonna move. They're not in that situation.
Oh, they are by default having 3 wins in 2 years.
Yeah.
That makes it a contract.
Yeah, but
reason
again,
I say
you got to have somebody better to bring in here.
Well, you don't know a guy's better until he's here. I mean, you don't know that. You can't say for sure somebody's going to be better with 100% certainty.
You don't, but you have an idea
You have
what's
to believe
available.
somebody's gonna be
You have to
better.
believe you can go find that guy. If Mike Vrabel was still available right
Yeah,
now,
but Mike Vrabel wouldn't
bye,
come here.
Bye.
He wouldn't come
Well,
here.
Mike said a couple of weeks ago when he was asked, would he have stayed in Cleveland? I believe his answer was, I was never asked.
I don't think he would ever take this. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Based on what I know, I don't think he would ever take this head coach.
Let me just clarify real quick why I said I'd fire him if I'm not sure, if I'm Jimmy.
Right.
Because if he's not sure and they don't fire him and they draft a quarterback and the team gets off to a bad start, they're going to fire him in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing you can do to a young quarterback.
Now, if Jimmy believes in his heart, even though I don't trust Jimmy, that Kevin Stefanski's the right guy and he needs to give him more time, then okay.
Yeah,
fine.
that's the other reason
But
I
he better
stick with him.
If he's
Jimmy
not
never gets it
sure,
right.
Yeah.
And I think with this one, he's got it more right than all of the other ones together combined.
I fire them both or keep them both.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you who wins on Sunday in our pre-written headlines segment. You don't want to miss that. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We are sitting about, 48 hours from game time. If you've got plans on Sunday that don't include watching the Browns, we're going to save you a lot of time and perhaps headache or perhaps celebration. Here's my headline, pre-written headline. I've got the Browns winning game number 4. In fact, Browns eclipse 24 win total. Cleveland gets 4th win in victory over the Titans, 24-6.
All right.
I don't think this will be
touchdowns.
close.
Yeah.
Bull, what do you got?
All right, let's go. I got the Browns winning as well, not as high as scoring. Record-breaking day. Myles Garrett breaks the NFL sack record.
Wow.
As he pounds Cam Ward 4 times. And Judkin goes, for over 100 yards in 12-3 Browns win. I think I meant to say 15-3 Browns win, but 12-3 is fine.
Oh, you're going low scoring.
Low scoring,
You meant to
yes.
say sacked.
You're going 6 field goals.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Uh-oh. 2-0.
Bring it up.
Dang.
No, G's up.
Listen,
Sorry.
Yeah,
listen,
he's on that.
well, you could go lower. I'm going to go higher. Listen, this is an easy money game, bro. This is the game we've been looking at. I got way for the over. What we got here? The light bulb goes off. Sanders throws for a career at 278 points, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns. I only had 2, but I'll give you 3. 2 touchdowns and a win over the Titans. I got Jerry Jeudy with 100 yards as well, so I think they cook tomorrow.
All right.
I think they burn down the kitchen tomorrow.
Sunday.
Going lower on the score. I went about as low as you could go. Schmidt happens. Andre Schmidt's field goal as the clock expires. A 3-0 win in gruesome rock fight no one wants to watch.
That's so funny. I was originally going to text Schmidt in my headline too, and I changed it at the last second.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not expecting
3-0.
No, I'm not expecting an
I'll
enjoyable
be chewing
day.
glass by that point. if we get to that, I am done.
So none of us have picked the over yet. Will I pick the over? No, I won't. I got a Broadway beat
G
down
picked
here.
the over, didn't he?
Sanders throws for
didn't
240
put
and
score
2 touchdowns, while Miles inches closer to sack record. 23-3 Browns win.
Yeah, G didn't really pick a
I
score
didn't
for
put
the
a
Titans.
score.
He just said the Browns would get 27.
Yeah, they're 27.
So if the Titans score a touchdown and add the kick, then it goes
we're
over.
over.
Enjoy the game. Watch the post game.
Good
We'll see you
luck
Monday.
enjoying that one.